Discover the amazing life lesson that transformed 10,000 lives. Don't fix everything. Lily Turner's heart raced as she stepped into the small, welcoming break room of Crestwood Memorial Hospital after another grueling 12-hour shift. The rhythmic beep of monitors, the sense of antiseptic and antiseptic soaps still lingered in her mind. If only she could mend the wounds, the pain, the despair within her patients as easily as she patched up her own life. Single mother, dedicated nurse, but sometimes, she ached to finally escape the weight of her lonely reality. Anna needed her. And yet, the rent was due. Bills piled up like snow in a Midwestern winter, the harsh reminder that life didn't care how hard she tried. Lily, her colleague Carol said, pulling her from her thoughts, "You're a saint for staying late." But wasn't it just a band-aid over a wound that needed more than a quick fix? Lily felt that sense of suffocation around her expectations. Was there any glory in getting it all done right? As she stirred her cooling coffee, that unease twisted in her stomach almost painfully. The smile she plastered on her face felt akin to the gauze covering a deep gash, temporary, constantly needing change, never healing. Then, she bumped into Mr. Graham, a retired doctor whom everyone praised. They exchanged pleasantries, his kind eyes scanning her with an unexpected intensity. "Not everything needs fixing," he murmured, as if he'd seen through her facade. His words lingered with her long after the conversation ended, unraveling a thread she didn't know she was holding onto as the night fell. The air thickened with anticipation. Anna was waiting at home, the teenage years creating a chasm between them. Just the thought of their most recent fight made Lily's chest tighten. A stray sound echoed in her mind, a voice begging her to reconsider her approach. Carrying everyone's burdens, one T set her free. How could she possibly choose this for herself when society demanded perfection, when her daughter needed her so fiercely? She knew Anna looked to her for stability, but what if she was just perpetuating the chaos instead? Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. That tension escalated into an unbearable pull within her. The emotional weight of Anna's rebellion, the late-night text exchanges that echoed with hurtful words, drowned out everything. How could she figure out her own life when saving everyone else consumed her? Confronting a former colleague who believed she wore a mask of confidence caused a crack in her already fragile armor. "You can't fix everything, Lily," he said, almost amused by her efforts. Was that it? She was building walls while trying to be the pillar of strength, only to find her world crumbling. Just then, the phone buzzed. An urgent email from her boss felt like a storm brewing on the horizon, threatening her job, her sense of purpose, everything. Stirred deeply between expectations and her own unraveling, Lily was painfully aware that she risked losing herself if she kept up this act. The swelling tides of uncertainty left her with a daunting question. Would she continue down this path, stifling herself in the name of perfection, or find the courage to step back and embrace this beautifully messy, complicated existence? As she stood at the precipice of defining herself, the air crackled with tension, leaving her and the reader in a tight grip of anxiety, desperate for answers that may never come. The dim light of the break room flickered as Lily stared at the email on her phone, a tight knot forming in her stomach. Immediate meeting regarding performance standards. It read, heavy with implications. She could already feel the familiar grip of anxiety. Her mind spiraled at the thought of sitting through yet another evaluation where her vulnerabilities would be exposed, the cracks in her professional facade laid bare before her superiors. She took a deep breath, steeling herself against the rising tide of emotion. "Why am I even here?" Lily murmured to no one in particular. Each shift felt like a balancing act between duty and survival, yet here she was again, on the brink of drowning under expectations. What if she didn't belong in this relentless race for perfection? The growing chasm between her and Anna echoed louder now, a painful resonance that urged her to confront the situation. Their fight had cracked something open in her, revealing the chaos beneath her carefully curated life. Instead of focusing on meeting that relentless metric of performance, she leaned into a moment of introspection. What if she didn't try to fix everything? The notion hovered like a whisper, tugging at her consciousness. What would that mean for her job? For Anna? For herself? The thought frightened her, the idea of letting go of control when everything felt so precarious. But what if releasing that burden could ignite change? Walking towards the nurse's station, Lily spotted the whiteboard where patient feedback comments were collected. For each compliment about care, a new set of self-doubts bloomed in her heart. Exceeds expectations, compassionate, outstanding nurse. The words felt anchoring, but just temporary, like the patchwork emotional band-aids she applied to her life. What if I asked for help? The thought flared briefly before her practicality kicked in. Asking for assistance suggested weakness, didn't it? Yet, the isolation was suffocating. In the midst of her musings, a familiar voice sliced through her reverie. It was Carol, cheerful and oblivious. Lily, you should participate in the mentoring program starting next month. You'd be great at it. Mentoring? A spark of interest flared within her, a chance to pass on her hard-earned knowledge, to nurture someone else's growth. Yet, the word mentor sent a jolt of self-doubt through her. How could she guide anyone when she felt so adrift herself? Carol continued, her enthusiasm unwavering. I've seen how you connect with the patients. You genuinely care, Lily. You could really make a difference. That word difference hung in the air like a promise. Besides the elation, it carried the weight of responsibility. The very thing that gripped her spirit also flickered with possibility. She could show someone it was okay not to have all the answers, to admit imperfection. Maybe, just maybe, by relinquishing the mantle of the fixer, she could discover parts of herself previously obscured by the act of caring for others. As the thought nested deeper, she felt a stirring resolve surge within her. She shouldn't have to face this change alone. To be why the time her shift ended, Lily was both terrified and exhilarated. Was this the start of something new? Approaching the door with an unfamiliar lightness, an unexpected call from Anna snapped her back. Mom, I need to talk. The urgency in her daughter's voice sent a rush of dread through Lily once more. The anticipated reckoning loomed ahead, yet it held the potential for healing. Would she be brave enough to accept that she could not fix their relationship entirely? Would she finally confront the heart of their rift? Or would she retreat back into the familiar, chaotic storm she knew too well? The air thickened as she grasped the doorknob, ready to face her daughter once more. This time, the stakes felt different, higher, yet infused with hope. But she also sensed that the path to true connection might require a vulnerability she hadn't yet mastered. A willingness to embrace uncertainty. As she stepped into the world outside, the weight of her decisions pressed down on her shoulders, and she found herself at a crossroads. Could she finally begin to understand the freedom that comes with letting go of the need to fix everything? And would she dare take that leap into the unknown? The answers waited just out of reach, tantalizingly close yet still shrouded in mystery. Lily stood at the door, her hand lingering on the doorknob as uncertainty drummed in her chest. Anna's voice replayed in her mind, a siren call that both tempted and terrified her. What could her daughter possibly want to discuss? The familiar rush of dread knotted within her, yet alongside it was a flicker of anticipation. With a measured breath, she pushed down the door handle and stepped into a new chapter. The cafe down the street was the chosen meeting spot, an intentional choice on Anna's part, surely to set a softer scene. But soft could not dilute the heaviness that had settled between them. As they settled into a corner booth, Lily focused on her daughter over her steaming cup of coffee. Anna's expression was unreadable, a mask that Lily had often worn herself. What did you want to talk about? Lily finally asked, her voice steady, yet laced with unease. Anna fidgeted with the edge of her napkin, struggling to gather her thoughts. It's about us, Mom. I can't keep pretending that everything's okay. The words rang with honesty. They struck a chord in Lily's guarded heart. She had always been the caretaker, the one who calmed storms. who held everything together. Confronting Anna's truths felt like staring into the abyss of her own failures. "I'm here for you," she offered, trying to project calm. "Being there isn't enough anymore. You always think you have to fix things, but I don't need that. I need you." Anna's voice trembled, crackling under the weight of unspoken hurts. Lily's gut twisted. Was this how her constant drive to make things right had made their relationship falter? In attempting to be the glue, had she instead created barriers? The revelation jolted through her. The urge to protect Anna had inadvertently stifled the open connection they both craved. "Tell me what you need," Lily said, allowing the vulnerability she so often avoided to seep into her words. Anna looked up, the slightest hint of hope crossing her features. "I just want to know that you see me, flaws and all. You don't have to take on the world alone. But you can't keep pushing me away by trying to fix everything." The statement hung heavy, a mirror reflecting all the ways Lily had shielded not just Anna, but herself too. The realization of her shortcomings settled in. Suddenly, moments flashed across her mind. Times she had brushed off Anna's concerns as insignificant. Times she had been so consumed by her work that she missed critical conversations. I didn't realize Lily grappled with the tension rising within her. Her intention to care had become a double-edged sword. "I thought I was protecting you." Anna reached across the table, her fingers resting over Lily's. "I need to be able to mess up, Mom. I want to make my own choices without feeling like I'm disappointing you. Can you let me do that?" The honesty in Anna's voice left Lily breathless. It was the opportunity they both needed to rebuild something from the ground up. Yet the fear of failure loomed large. Could she truly let Anna navigate her own path even if it led to mistakes? Here was the crossroads between motherhood and individual growth, where her sense of control was again being challenged. Lily inhaled deeply, the weight of Anna's needs pushing against the confines of her own fears. "How do I do that?" she whispered, her heart racing. The challenge cracked open a part of her she had long buried, the part that felt brave enough to step back and lean into her daughter's agency. In that instant, she realized that her journey toward accepting imperfection, both hers and Anna's, could be the key to healing their relationship. As they slowly began to talk through their thoughts and feelings, Lily felt a new path unfurling before her, one that diverged from the relentless race for perfection. It was frightening yet exhilarating to think of letting go of control. But even as they delved into their truths, a new uncertainty flickered at the edges of Lily's consciousness. Was she ready to confront the deeper roots of her own fears about inadequacy? Beyond their conversation lay an uncharted territory, where vulnerability risked more than just professional evaluations. It could reshape their lives entirely. With each revelation, the question echoed louder in her heart: was she truly willing to embrace the unknown? As Lily ventured into this unfamiliar terrain, the promise of transformation loomed just out of reach, waiting for courage to push beyond the familiar. The cafe buzzed softly with the murmur of conversation, but for Lily, everything faded into a blur. She was acutely aware of Anna's presence, of the weight of unsaid words hanging between them. Each sip of coffee felt heavy, anchoring her thoughts rather than stirring them. Their newfound openness was exhilarating, yet a shroud of anxiety veiled her heart as they explored their emotions. Lily grappled internally with Anna's plea for authenticity. Just beneath the surface, the need to control churned violently. How could she support her daughter without sliding into the familiar role of the fixer? The challenge loomed ahead, a maze of vulnerability where every twist felt precarious. With a tremor in her voice, she made a statement that surprised even herself. "I don't want to be the one who pushes you away anymore." The truth stung as it landed between them. There it was, an admission not just of error, but of a deep-seated fear that had governed her actions for far too long. Anna's eyes softened, now free from the cloud of disappointment. "That means so much, Mom. Can't be all on you, and it shouldn't be. We need to navigate this together." The notion struck a chord within Lily. Together, what a foreign yet tantalizing concept. She had spent years believing she alone could shoulder their burdens, and yet here was the path to release, the liberation that could shatter the chains of their previous relationship dynamic. "What's the first step?" Lily asked, leaning forward as if anticipating a secret Anna held that could transform their struggle. Her daughter took a breath, weighing her thoughts. How about we start by sharing a bit about where we really are? No pretense. Just honesty. Lily nodded, not wholly realizing how liberating that prospect sounded. Already it felt like a weight lifted. I can do that. I really want to understand. Anna paused, then spoke, her voice steadier now. I feel like I'm caught between wanting to forge my own path and what I think you expect of me. I don't want to let you down. But at the same time, I want to figure out who I am without living under that pressure. The air thickened with deep realizations. For years, Lily had unwittingly crafted a narrative of perfection that suffocated Anna. But now she could see that this honesty was the first ray of light breaking through a long-standing shadow, a leap toward restoring the bond frayed by expectations. I'm not perfect, Anna. I've buried so much in my pursuit to make everything right, including my own fears of failings, she admitted. I want us both to grow, both in our own ways. The smile that pierced through Anna's uncertainty felt like a gift. That's all I'm asking for. We can be messy together. Their conversation began to flow more freely, layers peeling back as they confronted fears once woven into their dialogue. They ventured into stories of triumphs and shortcomings, of dreams that felt distant yet tangible. Each shared experience stitched together a connective thread, binding their histories as mother and daughter while marking the start of something new. But as the sun dipped lower, casting soft shadows across the cafe floor, a storm brewed internally within Lily. The fear of facing her own inadequacies loomed larger than any confessions made. What lay ahead would require more than merely shedding control. It demanded a confrontation with her own underlying insecurities. Lily's heart raced at the prospect of vulnerability. Was she truly prepared to dive headfirst into the uncertainty that awaited? Her instincts whispered doubts, yet a flicker of resolve ignited within her. This personal expedition did not just promise a better bond with Anna. It held potential for a profound transformation in how she viewed herself. Just then, Anna's phone chimed, breaking through the charged atmosphere. She glanced at the screen, her expression shifting slightly. I have to take this, it's about something important. Lily felt a pang of disappointment pierce her. The moment had been so rich, and here it was, fragmenting. Yet with Anna's retreating figure there came an unexpected calm. This was an opportunity to reflect, to confront the rational fears circling in her mind. She watched Anna step away. An insistent question beat in her chest. Was she truly ready to dismantle the walls built by years of careful control? The answer loomed, but the invitation to explore it pulsated inviting, yet terrifying. In this space between hope and fear, the choice before her felt monumental. Uncertainty rippled through her as she contemplated the road ahead. Would she seize the journey true to herself, or retreat back into the familiar? The choice felt almost monumental, with implications stretching far beyond the cafe's cozy walls. As Anna walked away to take her call, the cafe's hum faded into a distant murmur for Lily. Staring at the swirling patterns in the coffee, she felt the weight of solitude settle around her. The conversations they shared had been a mere window into what could be, yet the shutters of her heart remained tightly closed. The fear that spiraled inside her was a reminder of all that had remained unaddressed. Her need to fix, her anxiety cloaked as love. What could one more moment away mean? Could it serve as a catalyst for an inner exploration she had long ignored? The answer tugged at her consciousness, a challenge drumming steadily. Would she confront the truth she had buried deep, or allow the familiar cobwebs of comfort to consume her once more? Lily leaned against the table, eyes unfocused, contemplating the notion of being vulnerable. It seemed an alien concept, one weighted with the danger of exposure. Each time she pulled back the veil of control, a pang of fear and self-doubt echoed within. What if she wasn't enough? What if showing her true self only led to disappointment for herself and for Anna? But the profound change in Anna's eyes haunted her. That glimpse of freedom illuminated a path she had been too frightened to tread. Perhaps vulnerability wasn't the weakness she perceived it to be. Maybe it was the very strength lifting the pair from their silence, like the sunlight breaking through a swirling storm. As her thoughts spiraled, a bubble of determination began to rise within her. She pictured the two of them, laying bare the debris of years past. Complaints, misunderstandings, unmet expectations. What if, instead of fixing, she lent an ear and opened her heart? What if she dared to express her fears and dreams, allowing Anna to embrace her own? The cafe door swung open, letting the crisp air flood in, which jolted her from her reverie. She watched as couples and friends drifted in and out, their minds unfurling in laughter, joy, and light-hearted chatter. The weight of their lives stood in sharp contrast to her own introspection. Yet the sight inspired a realization. Growth could emerge most vibrantly through connections, not isolation. This was a pivotal moment, not simply to unshackle herself from the role of a fixer, but to redefine who she was within the tapestry of her family's narrative. With resolve crystallizing, she initiated a quiet plan. Sharing her own fears in small measure, coupling her vulnerability with the stories that shaped her journey, wasn't that a first step toward redefining what it meant to be together. The thought settled warmly inside her. Anna returned to the table, her expression still threaded with concern but softer now, touched by the shared openness that marked their recent exchange. "Sorry about that. A slight crisis at school," she said, biting her lip in a way that reminded Lily of that nervous child eager to please. Lily met Anna's gaze, her heart racing, emboldened by an unforeseen courage. "It's okay. I've been thinking," she started, feeling that spark of honesty ignite within her, "about how I've approached being your mom, and how I've thought I needed to fix everything for you." Anna's brow furrowed, an inquisitive look replacing her earlier expression of worry. "I appreciate that, Mom. Actually, it means a lot to hear you say it." "Good, because I realize that I haven't taken time to express where I stand either." She paused, breath hitching at the weight of her own admission. "I've let my fears dictate our relationship." Silence enveloped them, thick with uncharted territory and the uncomfortable realization of what had been neglected. But within that silence, a new understanding began to unfurl. "I want us to confront this together," Lily continued, voice steadier. "I want to be honest about my flaws, too. Let us share what frightens us about this journey." A flicker of vulnerability ignited in Anna's eyes. "I think that could really help. I struggle too, you know?" Suddenly, the conversation that had felt so daunting now felt imbued with both potential and opportunity. A tempting path, filled with unsteady steps, but with the prospect of earning what they both desired. A deeper connection as they began to weave their thoughts through a rich fabric of shared fears. Lily found herself daring to confront the specter of her insecurities, a daunting yet invigorating process. Would they successfully shed the preconceived notions that once bound them? Each exchange felt like a stepping stone into the unknown, posing the question. Were they ready to bridge the gulf of expectation that had defined their lives for so long? A flicker of anxiety still shadowed Lily's heart, yet the urge to break free felt stronger. Her voice trembled slightly as she asked, what would it look like to dive deeper into this? The thread of possibility hung between them, taut with tension and hope, a question that would demand answers that neither could fully anticipate, but both desperately needed. The soft chatter of the cafe faded into a mere background rhythm as Lily sat across from Anna, the air electric with the weight of their shared words. The honesty they were starting to unveil intertwined with their vulnerabilities, transforming their dynamic. But uncertainty loomed over Lily. The road ahead felt perilous. Could she really allow this shift to reshape everything she thought she knew about being a mother? Taking a deep breath, she leaned forward, determination flickering in her eyes. When I think about fixing things, it's often just a way for me to cope with my own fears. I thought if I could solve all your problems, everything would be okay. But maybe that's not really love. What if I stepped back and allowed you to navigate your journey, even if it meant watching you stumble? Anna's gaze softened, reflecting a mixture of relief and apprehension. That sounds scary, but I think it might help me feel more like I can stand on my own. Lily's heart raced. The enormity of this thought shifted the ground beneath her feet. She had clung to her role as the protector, the constant. Accepting that Anna could face her own challenges while still being by her side felt revolutionary. It was as if their relationship was on the brink of metamorphosis, one they both desperately needed. Maybe we're supposed to grow together, not just as mother and daughter, but as two individuals discovering who we are, Lily proposed, her voice trembling slightly yet infused with a new strength. If I let go of my need to fix, I create space for you to explore. I can't predict what will happen, how you'll respond, or what mistakes you will make, but that's part of life. I senti it. Anna nodded slowly, digesting this empowering yet unsettling revelation that echoed between them. I see that, Mom. But what about when things get too hard? There are times I wish I could just know you'll jump in and rescue me. The fear in Anna's voice struck deep within Lily. It mirrored her own insecurities, the nagging hesitation that clawed at the back of her mind. I want to be there for you, Anna, but not in a way that takes the learning away from you. Battling your own monsters can actually build you up. I just need to trust that you'll find your way just as I need to find mine. The moment lingered, charged with the possibility of change. Realization hit Lily hard. This monumental shift was the first step toward a deeper connection, one that would fracture the cycle of dependency that had bound them for years. But as the steam from her coffee rose, weaving into the air, so did an unsettling question. What if Anna struggled to embrace this newfound independence? What if stepping back only made her retreat further into herself? Just then, Lily caught a glimpse of Anna, whose eyes reflected a mix of trepidation and excitement. I've never thought about it like that before. This is a big deal for both of us. It won't be easy, but I think we can do it. A rush of pride surged through Lily. Perhaps they were seeing each other for the first time, not just as roles defined by expectation and duty, but as unique individuals forging a clearer path toward understanding. Let us make a pact, Lily proposed, her heart enlivened while she spoke. We'll check in regularly, create a safe space for each other. No judgment, just honesty. We can document our journeys as we unpack our insecurities together. It could help us learn not just about each other but about ourselves, too. The prospect of this actionable step ignited a spark in Lily, drawing her toward an uncharted territory where discovery awaited. I can't promise it will be perfect, she added, but I will commit to being there as you navigate these waters, without trying to steer the ship. A small smile creased Anna's lips, a reflection of the burgeoning trust forming between them. Like that, we can hold each other accountable, maybe even write down what we face so we can reflect on it later. The conversation had taken a promising turn, yet the shadows of doubt still loomed in Lily's mind, casting uncertainty on the horizon. Was she truly ready to let go? Would they both emerge victorious in this venture, or would the trials tear them apart? As they continued discussing the depths of their worldviews, a silent conviction nestled within her. They would leap into the unknown together, armed with vulnerability. Each second spent in this newfound understanding felt like a weaving thread, creating a tapestry of connection that had long eluded them. With each exchange, the stakes elevated, and the depth of their truths lay bare. However, in the silence that followed, those earlier questions still lingered, unanswered. What would it require of them to continue this journey, and could they truly break free from their past definitions? Their exploration was just beginning, igniting a fire within both of them, but the most profound changes often came with the greatest challenges. Would they be brave enough to face what lay ahead? Lily left the cafe feeling buoyed yet uneasy, the conversation with Anna lingering like a vivid dream. The streets were alive with flurries of activity, but her thoughts remained inward, replaying their shared words. The suggestions she had made were bold, and although invigorating, doubt nestled in the corners of her mind. She had always been the one to fix, whether it was repairing a broken toy or mending relationships. What if stepping back truly meant losing control over everything she had cared for? Back home, she sat on Anna's bed, surrounded by the remnants of childhood. Stuffed animals, posters, and books half-read. Each object told a story, whispering memories of milestones she had navigated for her daughter. Now, this chapter she had begun to write together with Anna felt more daunting than anything that preceded it. The realization that their transformation would require patience and unlearning made her heart race. Her mind drifted over the pact they had forged. The idea of keeping a shared journal could serve as a sanctuary for their evolving dialogue, a place to reflect and catalog their journeys. With a sudden spark of creativity, She rose, grabbed a notebook, and began to sketch out ideas for their first entry. What did she want to express? What fears could be aired without filter? As she wrote, her hand hesitated over the page. Mistakes, vulnerability, powerlessness. Words that had always felt alien to her in the protective cocoon she had wrapped around herself and Anna. Yet, truth was like the pages of that notebook, raw and waiting to be filled. She penned down her intentions. Let us embrace the messiness of life even if it feels uncomfortable. Together, we can learn how to navigate our struggles without the instinct to leap in and solve everything. After drafting her thoughts, she replayed their conversation in her mind, peeling back layers of her own perceived identity. What did it mean to be a mother beyond fixating on solutions? Could she allow Anna to falter without rushing in? The more she examined her motivations, the more the answers ebbed and flowed, rising like the tide. It was both freeing and frightening. That evening, Lily settled in for a long-awaited conversation with Anna over dinner. They talked about everything, their favorite shows, trivial events from their day, but Lily knew the real discussion lingered unspoken, like an uninvited guest at the table. Finally, she broached it. What's your biggest fear about us stepping into this new chapter together? She watched closely as Anna's expression shifted, a transparent honesty in her eyes. I worry I'll mess up, Anna admitted, her fork pausing midair. What if I can't do it on my own and end up letting you down? Lily felt her heart twist. The very fears she had harbored were reflected in Anna's words, catalyzing the realization that this journey would be a mutual recalibration. What if we redefine failure, then? Maybe failing is just a step to growing. It's okay to stumble as long as we learn and evolve from it, she replied, her confidence strengthening, leading her. Anna's brows furrowed but then relaxed, a tentative understanding forming. I guess that makes sense. If you and I are both learning, it could be liberating to embrace that. The tension in the air shifted markedly, layered with acceptance, hope, and a crystallizing sense of partnership. It dawned on Lily that they were moving toward a kind of interdependence that celebrated individuality instead of fostering limitation. Each puzzle piece, each insight, stumble, success would come together to create a fuller picture of their personal evolutions. But even as the conversation flowed between them, remnants of doubt clung to the edges. Could they really withstand the hard knocks that awaited? Would their renewed connection survive when the unavoidable trials arose? As they cleared the dinner plates, Lily felt a burgeoning excitement mixed with trepidation. Mistakes would come, and along with them would emerge uncharted territories, and maybe once again, shadows of dependency. She wondered where this journey would take them, her resolve simmering with the anticipation of what lay down the path. Meanwhile, the echoes of their conversation hung in the air, generating a new cycle of questions. Would they truly have the courage to navigate this growth together? How would they reinforce their new dynamic when disturbances crept back in? The answers remained elusive, an unexplored terrain before them, as the journey to discover both their truths pushed ever forward. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating the dust particles dancing in the air. Lily brewed coffee, the comforting ritual serving as a segue into another day filled with potential. The shared journal beckoned from the bedside table, its blank pages an invitation to explore uncharted emotions. The air buzzed with the urgency of a breakthrough, and she was determined to seize it as she sipped her coffee. She grabbed the notebook, planning to jot down reflections from the previous night's conversation with Anna, but the words refused to come, trapped beneath the weight of expectation. She felt pressure mounting. Should she focus on lessons learned, or dive deeper into emotional truths? Was it her role to orchestrate the narrative, or could she allow the words to unfold organically, highlighted by both joy and unease? With a sigh, she slid the notebook aside and turned her attention to planning her day, a weekly meeting with a new project team at work. The project had been sketchy, a digital marketing campaign that needed revamping after lackluster reviews. Her instincts called for her to step in, suggest bold changes, and assert her vision with unwavering confidence. But as she ran through possible strategies, she recalled her pact with Anna about embracing messiness and vulnerability. That day at work, She found herself observing more than leading. As her team discussed scattered ideas, she resisted the urge to immediately impose order. Instead, she prompted discussions, inviting opinions and insights from colleagues that had often been overshadowed by her dominant presence. Each contribution shifted the dynamic, creating a pulsating energy that felt foreign yet exhilarating. "Let us explore this further," she suggested earnestly, her voice calm yet unyielding. "What do you all envision when you think about our brand's message?" Encouraged by her willingness to listen, her team began sharing visions, slowly coalescing around an exciting creative direction. The feeling was liberating. She tasted the freedom that came with fostering an authentic dialogue. This was a stark contrast to the tightly controlled images she had projected, reminiscent of the way she handled her relationship with Anna. She had typically felt compelled to orchestrate every aspect of their lives together, unknowingly suppressing Anna's ability to find her own voice. But the pressure crept back when a sudden wave of self-doubt washed over her. Was she truly making progress, or merely prolonging the inevitable chaos? When confrontation came, how would her newfound approach hold up? The lingering uncertainties and the task of leading left her restless. Amongst the exhilaration, her heart raced with apprehension. After the meeting, she was approached by Mark, a newer member of the team. "I really appreciated how you opened the floor today. I feel like I can actually share ideas now," he said, his genuine tone warming her. Lily smiled, brushing aside her inner turmoil. "It's important we all feel we can contribute," she replied. But as she walked back to her desk, the compliment shadowed by her anxiety lingered, weighing heavily on her thoughts. Could she keep this approach alive when things went awry? She felt a familiar twitch of instinct, the temptation to revert to her old ways of meticulous control. She questioned what she truly stood to gain from this evolving process, not just within her professional sphere, but also in her personal life with Anna. The following evening, Lily and Anna returned to their journal discussion. Plopping down on the bed, she sensed a shift in herself, a burst of courage igniting her thoughts. "What if we set up some guidelines for this journal? Let us agree to be as honest and raw as possible, without fear of judgment," she proposed, determination marking every syllable. After a brief pause, Anna nodded. "I like that. It could be a kind of mirror for us," she echoed, more confident than the day before as the words settled in. Both shared glances, the meaning resonating deeply in that moment. Yet now, with the gravity of their commitment looming heavily, shadowy doubts skittered back into their minds. How do we truly confront ourselves on paper? Would they really reveal the messiness that lay beneath the surface, risking vulnerability in hope of connection? Lily felt the complexity of this challenge pressing down, tempting her to navigate away from the uncomfortable truths lying just beneath the surface. Digging deeper was required, but first, she would have to summon the courage to stand confidently before the mirror of reflection. And neither of them had yet taken that leap. Just as that thought settled, an alert from her phone cut through the moment. An email, an unexpected offer for a significant role at work had arrived. The type of role that could redefine her limits entirely. But was it truly aligned with the person she was becoming? Lily felt a buzz of excitement tinged with apprehension as she considered possible changes. Could she embrace more responsibility while fostering dialogue and vulnerability? The horizon expanded, fraught with promise, but uncertain stakes awaited. Deep breaths accompanied her decision-making as the moment felt like a crossroads. Would delving into this new opportunity steer her toward transformation, or plunge her back into the suffocating grip of control? As uncertainty swelled, one undeniable truth crystallized. The adventure was only just beginning. Lily stared at her phone, the glow of the screen illuminating her thoughtful expression as she reread the email. The opportunity sounded incredible, a managerial position that promised to challenge her creativity and leadership skills in ways she hadn't anticipated. It could very well be the path to elevating her career, but doubt crept in like a shadow. What did this new role truly represent? Was it another layer of responsibility, or a chance to cultivate authentic connections in a high-stakes environment? The urgent pulse of ambition wrestled with her newfound conviction to create a space where others felt comfortable contributing. Sinking deeper into her thoughts, She picked up the shared journal resting beside her on the bed. The blank pages once again signaled the call to dig into her own psyche. She pondered the possibility of combining personal growth with professional responsibilities. Perhaps the two could coalesce rather than collide. Beneath the surface, something stirred a belief that balancing vulnerability with authority was not just essential for her growth, but transformative for her team. With a pen in hand, she scribbled down her thoughts. Each word she wrote began to knit a fabric of self-awareness and strategy, painting a picture of a leader who embraced chaos rather than fleeing from it. If I accept this position, she mused aloud, I can advocate for collaboration even more boldly. The pages absorbed her musings, tracking her evolution as she navigated this potential new terrain. She envisioned strategies for meeting expectations while maintaining openness. A new mantra crystallized: don't fix everything. Instead, cultivate a culture of shared ideas. But that notion echoed through her mind with both encouragement and trepidation. What would it cost her to truly let go of her instinct to control? Would she unravel when conflicts arose, or would her commitment to engagement bind her through the turbulence? With the idea forming in her mind, she felt a swelling tide of commitment. Accepting the role could offer a potent test of her ability to blend her renewed approach with the demands of a complex workspace. But if she clung too tightly to her need for control, she risked the very essence of what she was trying to become. As the evening progressed, Lily and Anna continued their journal conversations, each exploring their vulnerabilities more deeply. Anna spoke of her dreams, her voice wavering as she pondered what it would mean to pursue them without reservations. I want to explore the things I've always put off, the things that fill me with excitement, she admitted, her eyes flickering with possibility. Lily encouraged Anna to articulate her aspirations further, noting how each disclosure fostered the dynamic atmosphere they craved. Anna's willingness to share inspired Lily to reflect more deeply on her own fears surrounding the new role. What would it be like to let go of the comfortable facade? Was she ready to acknowledge her own weaknesses before her team and allow them space to grow? Before bedtime, she set the journal aside, a multitude of questions surfacing. Would her coworkers, who had played a secondary role for so long, welcome a shift in power dynamics? Could vulnerability, once perceived as weakness, become a powerful tool for cohesion? The weight of her next decisions settled in the pit of her stomach, both exhilarating and unnerving. That night, sleep eluded her, thoughts racing around the implications of her rising career ambitions. She cocooned herself in the warm embrace of her blankets but found little comfort in her own uncertainty. The moment felt pivotal, as she anticipated her decision could usher forth a wave of change or serve as a precipice of doubt as dawn broke. A single thought echoed in her consciousness. She needed to confront more than her career. It was time to address her emotional landscape, to trust herself in the face of uncertainty. By the time she was dressed and ready for work, her mind was racing with the uncharted possibilities that lay ahead. At that very moment, she decided that not only would she embrace her new responsibilities, but she'd also stand firmly at the intersection of accountability and empathy. Yet as she walked to her car, brimming with newfound resolve, a lingering question remained. Was she truly ready for the confrontations that lay ahead with her team and, most importantly, with herself? The true challenge awaited her in tomorrow's meeting, an unexpected confrontation that could change everything. As the morning sun crept into her room, engulfing Lily in its warm embrace, she felt an undeniable shift within. Gone was the anxious nurse wrestling with the pressures of perfection. In its place stood a more confident version of herself, resilient, determined, and increasingly aware of the need for vulnerability. The profound conversations with Anna had ignited something vital within her, illuminating the wisdom in not needing to fix everything, not even her own fears. Arriving at the hospital, Lily felt the usual mix of anticipation and dread swirl in her stomach. Yet, today it was accompanied by a new sense of purpose. She was ready to redefine her role, not just as a caregiver but as a pioneer of authentic connections both with her patients and her colleagues. As she entered the nurse's station, the buzz of chatter enveloped her. The familiar faces greeted her. But today she was not merely a silent participant. Today, she would lead with empathy and openness, eager to share her vision of fostering a culture that embraced discussions over solutions. The weekly team meeting beckoned, which would become the proving ground for her transformation. When the team gathered, she noticed the usual air of tension as discussions faltered over performance metrics and patient satisfaction scores. Instead of following the familiar route of imposing her strategies, Lily decided to ask a simple question, one that opened the door to shared perspectives. What would success look like for us this month, as a team? The room stirred, and for the first time, voices flourished, filled with ideas and potential. Her colleagues felt engaged, not overwhelmed. Their contributions flowed freely, unveiling a tapestry of thoughts that Lily began to weave into a cohesive plan. She realized that this was the power of collaboration, allowing space for others to shine, illuminated both their strengths and her OWB. By the time the meeting wrapped up, a profound sense of camaraderie filled the air. Recognition bubbled within her. They hadn't just spoken about problems. They created a plan that represented everyone's input, a collaborative vision, unlike what had been accomplished before. This was growth, not just for her, but also for the team she had so long been a part of. The culmination of the day's efforts came in the form of an email sent from her direct supervisor, congratulating the team on its innovative approach. Your leadership in creating a space for dialogue has made a difference, the note read. Lily felt the warm flush of validation, a sign not just of her professional growth but also of the successful adoption of vulnerability as a fundamental principle. Meanwhile, back at home, she adjusted to the new rhythm of connecting with Anna. They sat together, journal open and pens poised. I want us to keep tracking our feelings, Lily suggested, surprised at her own eagerness. Each line written was both a leap into the unknown and a testament to their evolving relationship. They bared their raw emotions, fears, aspirations, moments of doubt, all without judgment. Mom, I think knowing how to support each other means we trust ourselves enough to face failures together, Anna remarked, a glimmer of understanding brightening her gaze. Lily's heart swelled as she recognized the impact of this exchange. Anna's journey toward independence mirrored her own, and together, they were forging a path lined not with perfection, but with honesty and resilience. As weeks turned into months, the changes within Lily and Anna solidified. They embraced imperfections, honored their struggles, and celebrated their triumphs. Each small victory felt monumental. Lily's confidence soared as she became an empathetic leader, encouraging her colleagues to explore their creative potential without fear of criticism. She no longer dreaded her flaws. Rather, she showcased them as facets of her growth journey. With this newfound clarity, Lily fought against the instinct to control. At work, she supported her team with solutions that invited collaboration. At home, she listened to Anna's ideas and concerns with open curiosity. When obstacles arose, she no longer felt the need to rescue. Together, they learned to navigate choppy waters, understanding that every misstep was just a stepping stone toward growth. One evening, as they shared their favorite meal, light laughter filled the room. Anna hesitated, then said, Mom, I think I can face whatever challenges come my way because you've shown me how. Lily felt a rush of gratitude wash over her. This moment encapsulated the internal transformations they had both undergone. They were no longer defined by their need for perfection but celebrated in their humanity, the beautifully messy journey of life they navigated together. As the aroma of freshly baked cookies wafted through the house, Lily picked up her journal. With a heart brimming with pride, she wrote, I have embraced the unknown, shifted my perspectives, and learned that the beauty of life lies in its imperfections. We are learning together and growing in ways I never thought possible. This was not just a conclusion to her story, it was the start of a new chapter marked by resilience, authenticity, and an unwavering commitment to navigate the complexities of life hand in hand with her daughter. This is the moment you need to subscribe now to our channel. Don't miss the next exclusive emotional stories that will inspire you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support for stories of personal overcoming. Comment below your reactions and theories about how Lily and Anna's journey can inspire us all. And remember, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second to spread the message.